Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to make some sausage rolls. What we've done is we've got the very cheapest of pre-made pastry, the very cheapest I could get of sausage meat, pork sausage meat, and what we want to do is see how easy it is to improve upon the basic ingredients with just a little bit of effort. So this sausage meat already has some seasoning in. It has salt, it has pepper, and it has a hint of nutmeg. So I'm not going to add any additional salt to the meat itself, simply because it's already salted. So today we are going to do 3 sausage rolls. We're going to do a control sausage roll, which will be just the basic meat. We will do a sage and onion sausage roll, and we will do a black pepper sausage roll. So let's get straight into this. I pre-prepared everything, just because you don't want to see us frying onions and chopping things. So I've cut the sausage roll pastry into squares. I have pre-fried some onions. I have pre-chopped some sage. You can use dried sage, but I didn't have any of that. I pre-cracked some black pepper. I've made an egg wash, which is simply an egg plus a touch of milk. And that's everything. So first thing we'll do is we'll just take a little bit off the side of here. That's going to be for our control. Then with the remainder, we will separate these into 2 separate bowls. Obviously, you don't need to separate the bowls if you only make them one type, of course. So I've fried the onions. I've let them cool. Now the purpose of frying the onions is to get rid of a lot of the moisture. There is still some moisture in there, but we don't want this to go sloppy. With the sage, that's straight out of my garden. That is freshly chopped. We'll go with the black pepper into that one. And then we're going to get our hands dirty. So let's start with the black pepper. And we're just going to mix this by hand. So my hands are clean. I have washed up beforehand. And we are simply going to distribute the pepper amongst the pork. Now, I've went for quite a lot of pepper, I like pepper, but we can judge if we need to reduce or increase the amount for next time. So it doesn't have to be perfect here. Sausage meat is already very yielding, let's say. So it doesn't need to. You don't need to do much to get it through it. So that's that done. Yes, there'll be a slight bit of cross-contamination here, but we're not a bakery. We are literally taking ingredients I cooked myself, and it will be me eating them. So I'm going to do the same with the sage and onion. I can tell straight away this is going to be much wetter, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But when we come to prepare the pastry, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen there. So for this, I've used around half an onion. I chopped it fine and I cooked it for a few minutes just to get a lot of the moisture out. You don't need to see me frying onion channel. So you don't need to see me frying an onion. Go see a frying onion channel rather than a sausage roll channel for that. So that's sloppy, let's say. Okay. So we'll do our control first. Now this is the very cheapest puff pastry I could get. A lot of advertise the store. That costs money. Again, there's going to be a slight bit of cross-contamination here, but not enough to make a difference. I'm just going to make it into a sausage shape. And we'll simply roll it over. Just push it down to fill in to the ends. Okay. So control. Then we'll move on to the black pepper. A little bit more. Okay. And exactly the same again. Okay, pinch the edges a little. And I'm going to push the seams together a bit. Okay, first black pepper. How many am I going to get out of this? Okay, I'm only going to make 2 of the black pepper ones. This one's going to be quite thick. Okay, pinch it a bit. Okay, so black pepper. Now, let's move on to the sage and onion. Now, the beauty of the onion is it adds flavour, but it also adds bulk, so it's going to be a much more satisfying sausage roll, in theory. Right. Okay. Now, a couple of these pastry slices have caught a little bit under the lights, so they look half cooked. And we'll do one final one. So with the addition of the onion, turned the equivalent of 2 sausage rolls worth of meat into 3. So a nice cheap bulker. That's not just bread or rusk or breadcrumbs. So let's make this final one up. Like that. I already wish that I had cooked the onions a bit longer, just to get more of the moisture out. Okay, again, just roll it up. Okay. Now, I need to clean my hands a little for this next bit. Okay, so we need to allow moisture to escape a little. So I'm just going to put a few slashes in these. Now I'm hoping that despite these 3 being a little wet, the moisture will cook off in the oven. Then we're going to give it a little push. This should help with the colour. And I believe it stops burning a little. Plenty of this on. Okay. Now we're going to put this into a preheated oven. I've got it at 200 degrees Celsius, which is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit if you're watching from America. We're going to put it in there for a minimum of 20 minutes. But we're going to keep an eye on this. And we basically want, when this is puffed up, when it's nice and golden, that's when we want to get them out. And what we'll do is we're going to do a double taste test. We'll get it fresh out of the oven when it's nice and hot. But of course the thing is with a sausage roll, it's rare that you would actually have it fresh. So you'll have it in your packed lunch, you'll have it as an easy snack. So what we'll do is after we've tried the hot, we'll let them cool, and we'll try it cool as well. Because then you can determine if it's worthwhile for your packed lunch. So we'll be back in 20-30 minutes, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so they were in around 25 minutes. They've been cooling for maybe a minute or so. So now we're going to do a taste test while they're hot. So first up, this is the control. So let's have a look inside there. Looks, let's be honest, a bit bland. It's your basic sausage roll. So let's give it a go. Probably needed another minute to cool. Okay, so the overwhelming flavour is salt. Now it's not bad. It's immediately better than most chain bakeries. Anything you buy from a supermarket, at least not their super high posh ones, but it's definitely better than the cheap budget party food. Anyway, okay, so next we've got our black pepper. Okay, so you can see the black pepper running through. Let's give this a go. Looks a bit darker. You know, honestly, it looks a little bit less appetizing, but you know, let's see. Immediately, that is so much better. Unbelievably so. Now, I'm a very big pepper fan. I'm very happy with the level of pepper within that. So yeah, I recommend this one immediately. So obviously pepper, hopefully it's in nearly everyone's cupboards. Dead cheap. That flavour is delicious. Goes really well with the pork. I'll definitely make that one again. I kind of want that to be the default. But now we've got the onion and sage and onion. Now this one has got a bit wetter. That was sort of expected, but let's see if it's had any negative effect inside. Okay, so we can see there's little bits going through. You can smell the sage. It smells quite nice. So let's have a go. Okay, it's definitely wetter. The overwhelming flavour is the sage, which isn't unexpected. It's nice, but I do think I prefer the flavour of the black pepper so far. Now that is definitely better than the control. I think the simplicity of the pepper is superior, at least when it's hot. So what we'll do is we will come back again in about half an hour when it's cool, maybe longer, and we'll see what works best when it's cold. Okay, welcome back. So we've let these cool in the fridge for a few hours, so these are going to be more like what you may eat in a packed lunch. So let's get down to it, let's see what they're like. Okay, so again we're just going to start with the control. Nice enough, but it does lose a little bit, I think, when it's not warm. It's starting to get more towards the chain bakeries. It's tasty. It's probably slightly better than a bakery still. I like the chain bakeries. So I still recommend that, even if you've got no additions. Now if we're going to rate it out of 10, just because it's the base, I'm going to call it a 4. That's not to say it's bad. It's the base. So now we've got the black pepper. It's all here. Yep, still good. Still superior to the basic. Again, I think it was better hot. Now, the pepper still comes through well, and it is, now that I think about it, that is much, much better than anything I think I've bought in the shop. So, what I would score this is when it's hot, I'll score it an 8, and when it's cold, maybe a 7. So we'll say 7.5 overall. Okay, now onto our sage and onion. This is holding together much better. So let's give this one a go. It's actually very different cold. The onion comes through more than the sage. It's much sweeter. How do you score something when it's so different? I would say that doesn't lose anything when it gets cold. It simply changes. Now, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the sage or do you prefer the onion flavour? I'm going to rate it a 7 overall. 7 for both types. So 4, 7.5, 7. So far we've got the black pepper who's winning. I do have a lot of ideas for additional flavours we're going to try over the upcoming weeks. If you've got any ideas, feel free to put them in the chat and I will consider them. So obviously if you enjoy the content, please leave a comment, please like, please subscribe, and I'll know to start making more of these. I have a lot of good ideas and it's all going to be tasty, I'm sure of it. Okay, thank you for joining me.